Can I tell you one of my favorite rules for your sex life?
Yeah.
Okay, it's called fuck first, but it's literally game changing. Have sex first, then go out on date night. I mean, most couples will say we're like two ships passing in the night, or we're business partners in managing a household, managing the kids' schedules and all the stuff, but that spark between the two of us is gone.
When you were saying your husband and you were sitting on the couch eating takeout again, that to me, like, if I eat like shit, it's not happening.
Oh, yeah.
If I don't feel good, it's not happening.
Yep.
That's not just me. That's my wife too. It's if we gorge on fast food, takeout, pizza, pretty much anything, and then we feel like shit by the end of the night, it's like you don't feel. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin, so it's just not going to happen.
Can I tell you one of my favorite rules for your sex life?
Yeah.
Okay, it's called fuck first.
Nice.
So before you go out to eat, go to a party, any sort of event, have sex first. So many of us have this idea, especially with date night. We think, oh, you go out to the restaurant, you have a nice date, and then you come home and you have sex. But let's be real. You go out to the restaurant, you overeat, you overdrink, you come home, you're bloated, you're gassy, you're uncomfortable. You just want to put on your PJs and put Netflix on and sit on the couch, right? Like nobody wants to have sex after a big date night out. So this is something so practical, so simple, but it's literally game changing. Have sex first, then go out on date night. Then you're not going to be bloated, too full. And also it feels like this sexy little surprise between the two of you, this little secret between the two of you. So the date night just feels even more fun and flirty than it would otherwise.
Nice. Great suggestion. I mean, is that and then my other theory is that, people just eventually just, I don't know any other way to say it. They just let themselves go.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, we talk about this a lot with like people like Dr. Gabrielle Lyons and a lot of the other doctors that I've had, but and not in like in a sexual way, but that I mean, Gabrielle talks about it's like you wind up in this cycle, and it's like you eat like shit, then you're like, oh, I did it last night. What's one more day? What's one more piece of candy? What's one more bag of gummy bears? And then it just keeps going and going and going. And I think that, maybe that's why, you get these long periods of no sex with your significant other, partner, spouse, whatever. Am I right on that?
Absolutely. Yeah. The way that we take care of our body heavily impacts our desire for sex, how we show up during sex. And, I can tell a little bit of Xander's story too. Like at the beginning of our relationship, he was in a really stressful job, working very long hours, trying to climb that corporate ladder, be a good provider. And he started stress eating. And all of a sudden he's gained a lot of weight. He was feeling really uncomfortable in his own body. And he would tell you this story too. This is not a secret or anything. He was just feeling really uncomfortable in his own skin, and his sex drive really suffered because of that. And I've gone through similar phases in my own life too, where, life gets in the way and you just kind of get off your routine. And you really feel that impact. So I think that's actually one of the amazing invitations that our sex life offers to us. I'm sure we'll get into this more, but, we have this tendency to think of sex as just this purely physical act. But I really believe it's so much more than that. And it invites us to take a look at how are we really treating our bodies? How are we taking care of ourselves? Because if you're treating your body like crap, you're not going to want to be intimate with your partner. You're not going to be able to perform super well with your partner. Like the desire is just not going to be there. So how we treat our bodies is an incredibly important part of our sex life.
Okay. What are the other reasons? Are there other reasons?
A lot of it is just letting life get in the way, too. We're all busy. We're all so busy. We have a million things on our plate, a million things going through our minds at all times. And it's very easy for us to just take our relationships for granted and think like, that's my person. I locked it down. They're always going to be there. And so we let them drop farther and farther and farther down our priority list until the point where they really feel more like roommates rather than romantic partners. I mean, most couples will say we're like two ships passing in the night, or we're business partners in managing a household, managing the kids' schedules and all the stuff, but that spark between the two of us is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really we've stopped making space for each other, to connect with each other, to spend time with each other, to remind ourselves like, oh yeah, I like you. You're fun to spend time with, right?
What about fear of asking?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Initiating is wildly, wildly vulnerable. You're talking about initiating sex in
Yeah.
particular? Yeah. We don't give enough credit to how vulnerable it is to initiate. And in male-female relationships, it's almost always the man who's doing the initiating. That's kind of the idea that we have. Like, yeah, the guy's supposed to want it more, so he's supposed to initiate. And I think as women, a lot of us don't recognize how vulnerable that is, how hard it is to put yourself out there and ask to be intimate. You're putting yourself in the position to be turned down.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you get turned down for anything, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But particularly when it's around something as intimate as sex, it really hurts. And this is another area where I think we really get ourselves into a lot of trouble by thinking of sex as this purely physical act. So a lot of women, their partner will initiate, and a lot of women will be kind of annoyed by it. Like, oh, you want to have sex now? Can't you say I'm in the middle of something? We just had sex a couple of days ago, right? It feels annoying. And a lot of times that's because men are initiating in kind of annoying ways because it's so vulnerable. So you guys do you're trying to joke about it instead. It's trying to get a little plausible deniability. So one of the classic ones is like the old boob hunk. He comes up behind her while she's washing the dishes and, gives her a little honk. And she's like, leave me alone. Like, get off of me. And he's, oh, I was just joking. I was just messing around with you. That wasn't trying to initiate. You're trying to get some plausible deniability, right? To make it sting less when you get a no. But of course, it's an annoying initiation. And so you're more likely, ironically, to get a no from her. But as women, a lot of us we'll get annoyed and just leave me alone, go away some other time. And we don't recognize in that moment that what our partner is really doing, even if he's doing it really immaturely, really unskillfully, what he's actually asking in that moment is, I want to feel close to you right now. Will you connect with me right now? And that's something that I tell women all the time, like, imagine in that moment that that's actually what he's saying to you. You wouldn't respond with, leave me alone. Get out of here. Mm-hmm. If you actually recognize that that's what he's saying. I want to feel close to you right now.
How should men be asking, or women?
So first of all, I think everyone needs to initiate. I think it's really important for both partners in the relationship. And it's not about sex drive. I don't care who has the higher drive or the lower drive. I think both partners need to be willing to be that vulnerable and initiate with each other. It's not fair for it just to be put solely on one person's shoulders. So that's a big part of it. But one of the things that we go over in Sex Talks is a model that Xander and I came up with called the initiation styles. Have you heard of the love languages model? Mm-hmm. It's like kind of that idea that we all like to give and receive love in different ways. It's very similar to that. Like we all like to be initiated with in different ways. So if you don't know your partner's style, you're likely initiating in a way that doesn't really work for them. And you're more likely to get that like, oh, leave me alone kind of reaction.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.